computer. There you go, Kevin.
This meeting is being recorded. Okay.
Okay, you
I
guys
hit the
ready?
okay. I hit the okay button, dude. We are on track for this
We're on
one.
track. All right, here we go.
I'm fired up today.
That is, I can tell you're in real positive form. Welcome back, everybody.
We got to
This
stay on.
is a real talk with Kevin Brock, and he usually forgets his line here, but at
7 o'clock.
there you go, he got it.
There
Uh,
you go.
so here we are. We're talking fishing, keeping it real. If you guys looked at last week's podcast, um, we got didn't talk a lot of fishing. We talked a lot about Kevin and a little bit about me, and that way people get to know us, get to know more about Kevin, and that's why we did that. So if you haven't seen that, go check that out on YouTube, on the Old Farts Fishing YouTube page, and take a look at that. And I think you'll be shocked with some great information. And that's who we have right here is Mr. Kevin Brock himself. Welcome back to you're still hanging in here with me every week, so we must be
You
doing something
bet.
right.
You bet. And I'm excited. And I thank you for that. If it wasn't for you, this wouldn't be happening. And yeah, we touched base on a little, personal type stuff, but we've all got a story. And, I want to hear your story when we're out fishing or, something like that. So, yeah, I mean, it's all good, and we just give the glory to God and just keep right on going forward, and we get another day. And yeah, I'm sticking it out with you. If you're sticking it out, I'm gonna stick it out, man, till the end, man. I'll be the old yeah. I tell my clients, if I ever fall over, fall in the boat, or have a heart attack or something, just push me over. Just
Just
push
push
me
me
over
over.
and keep right on going. We don't know what happened to Kevin. He fell over, He he must have been drinking again or something, and there he goes.
That's all
No,
good.
not serious about the drinking part. I don't drink, but
Nope.
anyway, oh good. But I can make fun of it. My voice is a little shot today. I'll try to talk a little louder. We did a little podcast on no, excuse me, not
Live.
podcast,
Live feed.
live video stream on our uh, place up there, not our place. I shouldn't say our, I got to
The place.
say the tackle box up there in Chico that turned into a tackle shop. And they took a bunch of my stuff in there. And so I told them I'd help promote for them. Anyway, I tried a live one for the first time. And thank you everybody that watched it and put up with the video and me shaking all over the place and everything. I'm like, I am not a
Hey,
videographer. This is not my gig. But we just had lots of cool people respond and say thank you and thanks for the shop and thanks for putting in there what we need and thanks for putting in the hours and the extra effort and just tons and tons of positive stuff. So I want to say to everybody, thank you for that. I mean, we can just say thank you, thank you, thank you, but that's what
yeah.
it is. Thank you. Without them, it doesn't work. And so, thank you, everybody. Thank you for keeping it real and just, I mean, so many people are coming in and telling me their stories and things about what they've been through and how they made it through and and how they fell down and then boom they had to keep going and getting back up and it, sometimes honestly you don't have to be the macho dude if you're just kind of vulnerable and real about life. Other people will open up too, and it's I don't know, it's kind of what life is about. And then
Right.
we get to go fishing, so that's really what it's about.
Oh yeah.
So,
So I got to give you a hand because you're a fisherman. You're not a camera guy. That's one reason why I'm here doing things with you is to do that. So you do what you're good at. So if you imagine how you felt trying to be the live video guy and how you fumbled
really?
in it, that's how I fish.
Right, right. No, that's great. That's great because I was a disaster, and I've already seen you fish, so I know you're a disaster. So it's no problem. I've been with you. It's all good.
Yeah, so we complement each
No,
other. This works.
no,
We're on the
no
right.
judgment. All good. You're doing fine, Stony. You did a great job, buddy.
Yeah, so no, but your live feed, your first one, the audio is down. You're gonna figure that out, and then you'll do it more and more and more, and then all of a sudden, you'll be like, hey, I don't need you anymore. I got this, and that's
Oh, dude,
perfectly
no,
good because we're
it
good.
it don't work that way. People that stick in my circle, if you stick it out, it's not easy. It's not easy because we just bounce in so many places and we work so hard. But if you stick it out, you'll always be in the circle.
Yeah,
So yeah, pretty
and
cool.
this is the thing that I see with you is when we listened to your podcast last week and learned a lot about you. I mean, I come home and I'm just shocked on how you even keep going and going. You're like the Energizer Bunny. You just don't stop. You just keep
I wish.
going and going.
I wish I was Energizer Bunny. I'm like a lithium, but they got to put charges in me every night. You know,
There
"Ka-ching,
you
ka-ching."
go.
I, I need one of those little boxes, the AED machines. I need one of those that shock me to keep me going through the day.
Well,
So,
you are going. You're doing a lot. Striper fishing's been amazing.
yeah, let's talk. Let's jump right into that. We talked a little bit about that and us, and joked a little bit, but let's talk. Let's go to the meat and potatoes. Let's talk
Sweet.
about the fishing report. Let's dive right in. Let's let people know what the fish are doing right now, because there's a change. There's a
Yes.
shift that's happening right now, and people need to know about it. Where you went last week is going to be different from where you need to go this next week. So let's start. The full moon's coming up. May 12th. Now let's talk a little bit about the full moon. People are like, oh, the fish don't bite on the full moon, da da da. They do bite. They bite great on the full moon. But in lake situations and river situations, it changes the dynamic of things because they feed a lot at night. They got so early mornings are still real good fishing. Late in the evening are good fishing. But sometimes when that sun's up in the middle of the day, it can be shut down. It can be tough fishing. But bass fishing right now. Let's hit Shasta, Orville. Let's hit Whiskey Town. Let's hit Stony Ford. Oh, I got to tell you a quick story too. Okay, I'll tell you a quick story, and then we'll keep the bass fishing going. A couple young boys come into the tackle box the other day. I had driven down there to help them because they were almost out of minnows. We don't want to run them out of minnows, so I dropped them off some more minnows, and we're making it happen. A couple young guys come in there, and they're like, we want to go catch some bass up there at Stony Ford Lake. I'm like, gotcha. I got you covered. They had no fishing rods, no nothing. I got them the little cheapy combos, set them up, to put some line on for them. And I got them two spinner baits, two crankbaits, and two frogs, right?
Okay.
So the whole total was like $140. And these kids, they didn't have a lot of money, stuff like that. So I'm computing it in my head. I'm thinking, okay, this cost me, whatever the cost on this, probably had $80, $90, something like that. I'm like, all right, tell you what, you guys give me $75, but if you catch a fish on one of these, you got to send me a picture. Is that a
Uh-huh.
deal? Deal, right? So I give them the rods and reels and the tackle for $75. They take out, they go. Like an hour later, my phone dings. I look at it. Here's the spinner bait, and the size of like the side of the mouth. Is what I'm trying to say, of like a 3 pound bass that they had
Nice.
gone out and caught on that spinner bait that I tied on their rod. I was like, that to me is. I know I got to make money to live, but that to me, that giving back is just so good, man. It's so good. It's like I don't know how God blesses you with that or why, but He does. And it's better to give than receive. Now, again, you can't give everything away. You got to live. But no, the shop didn't make any money, but they don't care. They got other things going to make money. I mean, it gave to those kids. And you know what? They sent me a picture. They're stoked about it. So yeah, that was neat. So that's that story. So let's go back to all the little lakes. Spinner baits right now. It's starting to turn on for spinner baits for largemouth. Stony Ford, Black Butte, even on Shasta and Orville. The spinner baits burning spinner baits really fast. Willow leaf type spinner baits off the hook. Ned fishing. The guy went out. He went and came and bought some 3-inch grubs. I make a grub for the tackle box. They buy a ton of them from me. It's like a salt and pepper little grub. Looks like a little pond smelt. It's a 3-inch old school one. You use it with an 1/8 ounce dart head. The guy was like, we use those just like you told us. And we got like 85 bass just hitting the points, man. They're just whacking them over there. So bass fishing's off the hook and it's going to stay good. Stripers. Everybody's been running after stripers. I've heard some people say, oh, the stripers they've moved, they've spawned, it's all over. No, 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 no. It's still going strong. Everybody, you'll love this, from our reports from Knight's Landing all the way up, Verona, Knight's Landing, coming into the Feather, all the way up to the corner of the Nicholas Bridge. Boom, jump back on the Sac, all the way up the Sac, Tisdale, Grimes, all the way even up to Wards. Not as many fish at Wards. They've kind of been dropping back down to Meridian. So if I was to go, when I go tomorrow, I know how, I was like, when I go fishing, that's tomorrow. That's the next day. The next day. Have you ever been on Groundhog Day? Have you ever seen
Yeah,
that
it's
movie?
you.
Or
Absolutely.
you hit it. When I'm going to the river, it's like, what day is it? It's the same thing. Different people say that morning, anyways. Not always fishing, but that morning getting there. Oh, Bill Murray, he's a great actor. I love that. That movie was great. Oh, good times with him. Lots of laughs. So fishing minnows has been good, but some of my buddies were sending me pictures of them trolling. My deep divers through them, the rainbow trout color, fish after fish after fish after fish. And you know what else is starting to show up down there in big numbers? Is the shad.
Oh,
Guy came in. I'm like, yeah, go below, the Calusa Bridge there. He went downriver a little bit, found just a rock wall on the side. They got like 45 shad. So shad thing is starting to come on. Hey, Jason, how's it going, buddy?
oh,
So,
I just muted him. I'm
oh,
sure he
that's
said
fine.
hi.
I said hi. Hi, Jason. What's going on? Thanks for joining. So, bass fishing, shad fishing, uh, kokanee going to start. We'll touch base on that. We're going to touch base on kokanee next week because this shad fishing and striper fishing is just too good right now. So look for it to be good for another week, 2 weeks. You're going to Knight's Landing on
I am.
Saturday.
Yes, I
I'll
am.
be I'll be where will I be? I'll be from probably Meridian Bridge down to, I want to say, Grimes, somewhere in there. That's where I'll be Saturday, Friday and Saturday, and then the fish will keep moving down. I'll be fishing minnows, but again, minnows, swim baits, all the above. We do have a full moon, and there'll be some spawning going on May 12th, 13th. The fish will be spawning. Tune in next week, and we'll let you know where they're heading, and the reports from you from Knight's Landing, the reports from me upriver. So that'll be cool. I like it
And
when we're kind of spread out because we can really tag
yeah,
team them. Yeah.
yeah, but the problem is, you told me before we started, we were chit-chatting a little bit. It's like, hey, you have to catch striper because we're going to change it up next week possibly, and we're going to do something different with filming. Well, if
Well,
I don't
yeah,
catch
no,
those striper, we
yeah. Well,
won't
you
be
better
filming.
you better catch some striper. There's striper to be caught. You better catch it. The pressure's on. All
Exactly.
right. No, so we're thinking about next week, and we'll get some input on this. We've talked about techniques. We've showed rods and reels, and we've showed the bait and the minnows and how to rig things. And you can go back and you can see all the things. And if you can't remember it, give me a call or text, and I'll run you through it real quick. But what we haven't done is eating the fish.
Oh yeah.
Stripers are great table fare. Fantastic. I mean, I love the catch to kitchen, the whole deal. I love that. I love cooking them. So we're gonna check this out, a little cook. If it works out, next Monday we're planning on doing a cooking video. How to deep fry stripers in beer batter and how to saute them. Two different ways, two simple ways, but there's a trick that I'm gonna show you guys that I've never seen anybody else do in California. So yeah, that one's got to go.
So
I learned it from some Texas boys over there in Texoma.
sweet.
So
And
that was
and
cool.
this
Yeah.
is this is
I don't think I've
perfect.
ever showed it to you either.
No,
Maybe I
no,
did.
no.
Maybe I have. I don't
But
know.
this is perfect because we're doing the podcast and you're doing this through Old Farts Fishing, through Stony Stone and this whole persona of what we're doing. You realize I have another Facebook page called Cooking with Stony Stone. So this
Well,
fits
you're
perfectly.
gonna now see. Here's how a fisherman goes. So you've got this species of fish here, and you
Mhm.
got this species of fish over here, and you got this species. But now for one moment, they're all in the same area. So we're going to catch them all. So on your end with filming it and you're do the social media, if you got this page, Cooking with Stony Stone, and then you got to connect them all. And
Oh
then we're going to catch them all, connect them all, and then we're going to eat them all after we cook them.
yeah.
That's what we're going to do. So you connect them all, and I'll cook them all, and
Exactly.
we'll make it happen.
So we're gonna make you a special guest on Cooking with Stony Stone and have Kevin brought. We're gonna do a whole production. It's already in my head. I've got the idea of the cameraman and it's gonna be like you're watching the Food Network and here's Kevin Brock with his fishing recipes.
I like it. We're planning for that. Now, normally I don't like to talk about something that we're gonna do until we do it, but we want to let
Pressure's
people
on.
know.
Pressure's
That's
on. Now you have to do it.
that's the plan. That's the plan. No, it's not so much that part. It's not about the pressure part because I feel like I'm okay under pressure. I can
Yes,
roll
you
under
are.
pressure.
Yes, you can.
But because of different diversities of what you have to deal with as a guide. But I never want to let somebody down. I don't want them to be all excited about it next week and then something happen and then we're not able to do it. So that would be why I would be hesitant and say, this is what we're going to do. I would rather do it and then tell people. But when you go live, you have to tell people ahead of time because
A little,
if you don't tell them in time, the live show will be over. so,
pretty much.
so
But
yeah. So
that's
that's
our
what we're going to
plan.
do.
That's our
We're going to do
plan.
a little cooking with Stony Stone. And what am I going to be? So I'm going to be the guest.
You're going to be the guest. I'm going to just do what I'm doing now. I'm going to host. I'm going to ask you questions. You're going to cook and talk, and I'm just going to film. And
Yeah.
then you'll see the magic of editing. I'll put this all together, and
Yeah.
dude, it's going to be a blast. It's like I
Yeah.
said. Now, I also have a cookbook that I'm going to probably have some of your Kevin Brock recipes in when we get it out. But I've been
Oh,
working on
awesome.
a cookbook, and I mean, you can go look it up on Facebook under Cooking with Stony Stone. But it's actually called Half Baked with Stony Stone.
Nice. Nice. I like baked potatoes.
Exactly,
So,
baked
but I like a whole
potatoes.
one. I like to be whole baked. I don't like to be
Yeah.
half baked.
Half baked,
I like a whole baked
well,
potato.
because I cooked a cake, you bake a cake, and when I pulled it out, it was half baked. I'm like, yeah, this isn't gonna work.
Perfect. Perfect. Well,
Um,
but here's the thing, because I'm going to come out with a cookbook also.
Perfect.
So I don't know if I can give you my recipes for your book. I don't know if that's going to work right.
No, we won't. But I
Well,
can talk
but
about it.
you might want to do a half-baked fishing section. Why don't we put them in both books?
We could do that.
Because people that'll buy your book will may not buy my book, and that way everybody gets the information.
See, it all goes back circular, circular.
Let's make sure we just do it all together. But no, we'll do a cookbook too one day because I got some cool stuff on smoking fish. That'll all come later with salmon season, smoking trout, smoking kokanee. We'll talk about that. That'll be cool. That's next episodes. That's what's so cool about this podcast and doing this with you is it's not just okay, let's just talk about one fish, striper season. We go over all the techniques and then we got nothing to talk about.
Right.
Striper season's still going to roll. The Delta's going to still on fire. They're jigging and trolling the Delta, whacking them down there. So we'll keep talking about that. But then we're going to move into trout season, creeks. Then we're going to move into kokanee season. Then we'll see what is the state going to do for our salmon season. We don't even know exactly yet, but there's going to be something. We'll talk about that. And then we can add cooking and all. We got so much stuff to do. We'll just take one step at a time.
So this,
So Saturday, you got to catch a striper.
I gotta catch a striper, and the thing is, I have an ace in the hole for that because what's
Okay.
most likely going to happen is I'm going to go out and
You're going to take
Anthony,
Anthony. You're taking
Anthony's
Anthony. Okay.
the
As long as you
striper
take
sniper.
Anthony, you take Anthony, we're good. We'll
Yeah,
be okay then.
so Kevin, he is the striper sniper. So I want to tell a real quick story, and this is something, when Anthony and I first started fishing way back, it was probably a couple years ago, and we were down at Verona, and everybody was salmon fishing. When did salmon fishing close? 3 years ago?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it had to be because everybody was salmon fishing, and so we were in our little spot with everybody else with their plugs, just sitting there, right?
Yeah. 21 was last year. Yeah.
Yeah, so I had a guy anchored next to me in a cool little boat there, and it had some name on it, which I don't even remember what it was. And it's a guide. He had clients on the boat, and Anthony sees a striper jump down river, and he looks at me and he says, "Let's go get that fish." And I'm like, "What are you talking about? You saw that? I mean, you know how far that fish is down? We're never gonna get that. I mean, you got to be kidding me." And I'm like, all right, let's do it. So I start pulling anchor. The guy next to me is like, where are you guys going? I said, my buddy saw a fish jump. We're going to go get it. And I started kind of laughing a little bit. And he's like, you know, you're going to lose your spot, right? I'm like, I guess, because I'm still new to fishing. I'm like, I guess so. I guess that's how it goes. So we go downriver. Anthony pulls out a topwater, something or other, and cast it 2 or 3 times. He got that fish.
Boom, fish comes up
Boom.
and eats it.
Is a big. I think Anthony's on the call. I don't know how big that fish was. One of our personal best, like 30 inches. It was pretty big. Yeah, fishing store is like 56 inches.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
I think it was like 30 inches. But one of the biggest striper he had ever caught in his life, so
Which
far.
is a
So
big striper. Good job, Anthony. Way to
he
go.
was stoked. And so we go back up river and we're like, well, we're not going to get our spot back. We'll just keep going to go do something else. The guy looks at me with his clients. I pulled the fish up. His clients are looking at him like, we're not catching anything. These guys say they're going to go get it and they come back. And we're new to fishing. I don't even
That's
know. I don't even know what's
that's
going on.
but you didn't know that it wasn't possible. And
Right.
so you just did it. That's
Yeah.
sometimes the best way.
So when
Yeah.
we go back now, fast forward to now, you know who that person was? It was
Which one?
Rob
Oh,
Stoddard
the boat. Yeah, 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 yeah,
with happy with
yeah.
Redneck Hooker lives the
Yeah.
side of his boat, and it was the funniest thing because now him and I are great friends and we hang out, and I had to go back to that video and go, that was Rob.
That's so funny. That's
So that
great.
was a cool story, and now I go fishing with him a few times a year. We do some filming from him as well, and
Yeah.
but anyway, we got on a tangent. Another story. But that's just
Uh,
what this is. This is
but
real talk.
those stories are great because it's real and it's not perfect. And you could have not caught the fish, but you went and tried. That's the whole point. And
Right.
it's we're gonna try it.
But
Yeah,
but see,
that's the whole
this
point
is
about
this
it.
is the cool thing is I look at that was 21, now it's 25, and Anthony and I are still fishing together, and I have this whole Facebook page and photo album of all these fish that Anthony caught.
That's great. That's
I just
great.
hold the fish for pictures. No, it's all
Well, you
good.
guys are still doing it, and here's the thing about it is you're having fun.
Oh yeah, it's a
I mean,
blast.
really going out and fishing, being in the outdoors, recharging, but you're having a good time. It's not about, oh, I didn't catch 40, so fishing was terrible, blah, 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 and negative Nelly. No, you go out there. Some days you get them, some days you don't. We have a good time. Some days you take your sister. She's kind of like a fish demagnetized. The fish don't like her. You
Oh
know,
yeah, yeah.
so
She's
so you didn't catch any fish, and then you get a little what I call from God, but the universe or fish God, whatever you want to say. And those guys called me and said they couldn't go because Grandpa got sick that was paying for the boat. Whatever happened, I call you. You bring your sister along. We ended up getting a couple clients anyway, and we get a 30-pound whatever. I mean, she's on the boat. She's catching fish. I mean, it was just like the coolest thing ever. Because
yeah.
why? Because you went. Why? Because you were positive. You could have been negative and been like, I'm never going again. Sister, you're terrible. Da 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 da. Whatever. No. I mean, you still whatever, but
Well, I mean, I took her out twice on my boat and got skunked twice, and we go out with
yeah,
you, so I
yeah.
think I think it's me. I think it's
Yeah,
me.
well, I mean, I didn't want to say that, but I mean, so so
Yeah, no,
it's just
it's
it can happen, and it's a circumstance. It's just how it goes.
yeah, and then this is why when I started Old Farts Fishing, and you go back to the very first episodes, it was all about trying to figure out fishing. I started on Ellis Lake. Come on, that's got to tell some
Yeah,
people stuff. I started on Ellis Lake and worked my way up, and now here we are, and we have over 300 videos showing that journey. But the cool thing is, none of it is rehearsed, none of it's staged. It's you'll watch videos, and there's times we catch some big fish, and there's times we're all excited, and all we caught was a pike minnow, but it's
yeah,
like we're catching fish, and it's about the memories and stuff with Anthony and I have, and the guys that we go on. He's my sidekick when I go out there to film or do stuff, and we want to have somebody that we know is going to catch fish that I can film. Like, hey Anthony, come on, you're going to be
yeah.
our model who can
Well,
catch fish.
and it's also cool to figure things out and then share them with people. What I
Yes.
found over the years, it was really weird. And this is as it's a neat transition because it was like people were timid to come up and talk to a guide.
Right.
Your guys would walk up, and they'd be preparing their bags of fish or whatever, filleted fish. And people would be like, "Oh, how'd you guys do? Da, da, we did great. Oh, what were you using?" But they would never come down and talk to the guide. Was it old school? Were they scared? Did they feel intimidated? I don't know. But that's starting to change because I don't care. I'll tell people what I was using, where I was at. The fish move, they have fins. You still got to figure it out. You still got to go fishing. You still got to catch them. So there's little techniques that help. But we give out information. You're like, "Hey, I went down to Verona 2 weeks ago and it was terrible. There's no fish there." Well, now there's fish there this week. If you catch them Saturday, next week we're going to be like, "Dude, they were there, man. Let's go
Right.
get them." And if someone calls you and asks you, you'll help them out. You'll do it. Same way with me. I get guys texting me now all the time. "Hey, where'd you find them today?" I'm like, "Hey, they were below the Meridian Bridge." It's like, "Oh, thank you so much." They zip down there. I get a text an hour later. "Hey, we got into them. We got 3 limits. Thanks, Kevin." But awesome. Dude, that's great. They're not all for me. It's not all about me. It's not my place. It's our place to share together. I'll get I'll get my turn, believe me.
Yeah.
I'll get in there. I'm
So
there every day. I will get my chance.
So what's
You
funny
know,
is that story that you're telling, right? And you get to do that over and over because you're a guide and people call and that happens a lot. But for me, it doesn't happen a lot. But I do have a guy, Darren Mayhew, that runs a catfish team called Standard Issue Fishing Team. Is I met him along the same lines. He saw my videos, he saw a Facebook thing about us catching some big catfish. He sends me a message in Facebook and says, "We can't catch anything out here. What are we doing wrong?" And I'm like, "I'm the least knowledgeable guy on the lake to be giving advice." I go, "But I'll share what I know, right?" I'm like, I'm
right.
not, and I told him, here's what I do. I go to
Yeah.
this spot, I go to Rattlesnake Island, I go in this thing, and you go about this. I told him, go this far out, use this lure, do this, do all, just gave him, this is what I do. I don't know if it's right. I don't know if it's wrong. Is there a better way? Maybe. I just said, this is what I do. And we catch fish.
And you caught some. Yeah.
Right. So he went out. 2 hours later, I'm getting a picture of this big old catfish, his biggest catfish he ever caught. And he says, "Man, this is the best thing ever." Guess who I hang out with when I'm not with Anthony? Is
Yeah.
Darren. So I make friends, right? And this is what it's about, is I want those friendships that are positive, that are, and I see Warren on here and he's and David Mayo and I met these guys through fishing and guess what? We're all going with you to go salmon fishing. And I didn't know
Yeah.
David or Warren before all this. And this is what I get, the thing about it's not about catching fish for me. It's about making those connections, these lifelong connections of having a good time doing what we do, and that's kind of what got me connected with you. So it's like let's
Well,
just
it's,
keep
it's a little
rocking.
bit about it's a little bit about catching fish for
Well, you
me.
have to catch some
Yeah.
fish because otherwise you
It's a
just
lot
suck.
about it.
I mean,
But
you
when
know
you
what it
get
is
to
to catch fish. I don't.
when you get to a point, like I said, there's a difference between, arrogance, cockiness, and confidence. When you can be confident yet humble and go to a spot and still learn, but you put all the stuff that you've learned over the years together, then you just like, we can do this. We're going to adapt. We're going to make this happen. Blah, 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 blah. And it seems to work out,
Yeah.
and so you can share that with people. And I don't know. It's all good. It's all good. But we've had a lot of positive response from it, and so we're going to just keep going. We're going to keep doing this. We're just starting this ride.
Yeah.
So we've got so much information to share, and I'm super excited about the cooking part because everybody cooks fish,
Oh yeah.
and if you want to impress your wife, or if you don't have a wife and you want to impress your girlfriend or something like that, and watch this next video. I'll show you how to make it so easy, and they'll be like, "Oh, sweetheart, you're like the most awesome cook ever." And they'll love fish. They'll love fish. All right, so one more quick story. I was growing up, and everybody who knows me knows I have a daughter, Samantha. She's run my office for whatever, umpteen years. But when she was in fifth and sixth grade, I was the girls' basketball coach, right? So we just had this big basketball team, and my motto is if you showed up to practice and you practice the whole practice, I'd get you in the game, right? They're fifth and sixth graders. We haven't got to the real a level where everybody gets cut and they only get a certain, junior high, it all changes, right? So, I mean, no one had more fun than we did. No one, we didn't win a lot of games, but no one had more fun than we did. That's for darn sure. But I would take all the girls after practice and we'd go to Lake Orville and we'd, get a couple people and a couple adults there and we'd pull them around on tubes and have fun. And then the last hour, we'd go fish for bass. So, I mean, tons of girls who'd never caught a fish before would caught their first fish. And we'd keep like a dozen of these bass and take them home and have a bass fry. And I clean them all up real quick. And back to the cooking part. Tons of these kids, again, fifth and sixth grade old girls, right? And their moms would be like, ew, fish, oh, fish is gross. Oh, ew. And I'll be like, okay, here's our rule in our house. One bite, just give it one chance. And if you don't like it, I'll order pizza or whatever. Like we'll have Domino's deliver or whatever, right? You know how many times I ordered pizza? Zero. Never one time. Some girls would just be like, barely like when I deep fry it and I'd have this seasoned batter. And then they take like a bite and one more bite. And it was so good. They're like, this doesn't taste like fish. It doesn't smell like fish. I'm like, if it tastes like fish, smish, I'm already tired. Or if it smells like fish, I got off it. You're doing something wrong. You in your process, you're doing something wrong. So we'll go over from catch to cleaning to preparation to cooking part. But anyway, all those kids all ate. They're like fish sticks, but better. They were better. I made them in little
Fish
cubes like
sticks.
that, and they were just chewing them down. So it's just good stuff. So if you want to, like I said, impress your significant other, or if you want your kids to eat fish, watch this next episode. Yeah, that'd be cool.
Cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. So I told you we were going to keep this a little shorter tonight, just
Okay.
because I didn't want to keep you all night or going on. But there's one thing I wanted to kind of raise a little bit attention to. I don't want to dive too much into it, but just more of a heads up to fishermen out there is more and more lakes are responding to this golden mussel thing.
I'm not going there. I told
Yeah,
you I'm not going there.
yeah. No, I just
It's,
want to set the only
it's been a
comment.
pot.
It's it's more of
When
just it's more of letting people
it's
know.
coming out, but
Check.
when we know more about it, we'll
No,
talk more when it's in stone because different
no, no.
places are doing different things and
No,
all that.
totally. So all I'm
But
saying
but
is
but if
check
you do go
before
to
you
a
go.
lake, if you do go
Yes,
to a lake, check it out, call someone, find out to see if you can still launch right now. So
exactly.
I'll go with that as a positive note. Yeah.
That's all I wanted to bring up was check before you go because it is changing all the time.
Sorry, I
And
didn't mean to
just,
interrupt you there. I
yeah,
cut you.
just
You're like, Kevin, that was
let
the
me.
point.
No,
I wasn't gonna let you slide off on anything.
I wasn't gonna name any lakes, but just make
Okay.
sure you check before you go. The worst thing to do is get everything packed up, ready to go, and you go to the
Yeah.
lake and you're like, now I got to go home because of whatever's going on. So check
Yeah.
before
Yeah.
you go.
And as the laws come, we'll kick in. Right now, um, you know, uh, launching in the river, going striper fishing, you're okay, and just
Yep.
check your lakes wherever you're going to for this week, and it may change next week. Who
Oh
knows?
yeah. So I do have actually, Kevin, we got a lot of people online, which is awesome. Thank you guys very much for
Thank you,
calling in.
everybody. We love
And
you, and we appreciate your support.
so everybody's muted. If there's something you'd like to ask Kevin or have some conversation, would be a good time. You should be able to unmute yourself or raise your hand on here somehow. I'll see it and I can unmute you.
What was that commercial? It was for you to raise your hand if you're sure.
I
See,
don't.
that stuff doesn't work. This stuff doesn't work. If you're a fishing guide by the second day, you're like, oh, I can't raise my hand. You know,
Yeah. Yeah, see, if you hit the little raise your hand button, I'll see it on this little board and I can then unmute you. But if you don't have any questions, that's okay too. Kevin, it's funny is I have a Monday podcast and I do the same thing and I'm probably going to stop doing it where I'll ask, hey, anybody have any questions? And nobody has any questions. They just like to watch. They don't want to engage.
Well,
They want to get the information. Well, that is perfectly fine too. So
well, no, they do, but you're putting them on the spot,
I am.
and then they're in
Oh,
front of then you're they're in front of other people, and then they're like, oh, should I ask
right.
them now or later?
So
It's fine.
Warren,
It's
I think
okay.
Warren unmuted. Warren, what's up, buddy?
Hey,
Oh,
Warren,
not
how you
much.
doing?
Just thought I'd say hi. And
There you go.
yeah, me and Kevin were talking earlier today, and we're gonna go catch some kokanee here pretty soon. So
Sweet.
Yeah, yeah, watch for that one. I can't wait to be a guest on your boat. I'm looking forward to that.
yeah,
And Warren shoots a ton of video as well, and he has a YouTube page, and you'll love Warren's videos that he puts out, and it'll be cool to see. Hopefully, Warren, you're going to be running some film that day, no?
yeah, yeah.
You
And
know,
if it's
and
okay with Kevin, you can come too if you want. So
Oh, the shucks, guys, that would be awesome.
wait, whoa. Warren, don't say that. No, no, we want to go catch some. We want to catch some fish, Warren. No, kudos to you, Warren. And one really neat thing I've admired about you is that your love for fishing, and you're not just out there saying you're not promoting just one product, saying this is what you got to buy, this is it. You're not being an infomercial. No, you're going out there and you're like, well, this spoon didn't work, but this one is working, or that manufacturer's working, and you just let people know what's working and it's real. And I think that's what people like about you, love about you, is that you're just a guy going out there fishing like everybody else trying to figure it out, but you love fishing and you're sharing it with people, and you're not trying to oversell something. It's not an ego for you. If you don't catch limits, you didn't catch limits. You didn't catch any, you didn't catch any. If you got a bunch, you got a bunch. And it's real. And I think people have gotten away from that. And I'm glad to see that you realize that that's not what it's about. We don't want to see infomercials anymore. People are tired of that. People are tired of the quick sales pitch. They just want to see some people out fishing and learn something and to be successful. And that's what it's about. It's about sharing and giving back and everybody having a good time. So anyway,
yeah,
I appreciate you, Warren, for that.
yeah. And I normally try to show the depth and how far our setbacks are and everything. I don't hide anything like a lot of other guys.
No,
Yeah,
and this is
there's no need to. I've had people other guides get mad at me, and they're like, hey, don't share that. Don't tell those guys that. They don't need to know that. I'm like, well, how did you learn it? Did someone help you along the way?
right.
Did someone throw you a little bone, and say, hey, if you put a white trolling tail on your lure, you might catch more fish. Or if you put a little scent on this, you might, hey, you know what? I put a little garlic on my corn. Somebody helped you too. So it's okay. And again, we're not going to wipe them out. It's not like everybody's going to be on top of each other. And again, you guys, fish have fins. Where we caught them last week does not mean they're going to be there this next week. You still have to go out and catch them. You still got to go figure it out. And in the meantime, have fun. Everybody works together. And why not on a put and take lake? Why not catch more fish? Why not? That's
Sure.
great.
Sure.
Yeah.
So Warren, I can't even talk. How do you feel about going to Oregon to catch some salmon with a couple little farts? We're gonna have a blast up there. I think it's gonna be fun. Oh, David Mayo just got back on too after he
All
had.
right, David. That's cool. Hi, David.
Hey guys.
So,
Yeah,
So,
it's
and
been a
you
while
and
since I fished up there on the Rogue, so that'll be a lot of fun.
oh no,
yeah,
we'll have a good
Yeah,
time. I
yeah.
hope the sea's
I'm
flat.
excited.
Yeah.
I
I
hope
used to like
you'll.
to fish the LC and the sluice law up there.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, and then I had a cousin that lived there in Lebanon, Oregon, so me and him would go fish all those coastal rivers.
Yeah, yeah, it's a pretty neat little place. It's a different style. I hope the sea's flat. We'll be able to go drop crab pots and pull
Yeah,
those up, and then do a bunch of rockfish. And then where I stay there, we're able to have little group gatherings. And so if that all happens, we can pull that all together. We'll have a little fish
yeah.
fry and crab feed all in one. So
Oh
cross our
man.
fingers is all And
That'd
when
be
it's
good.
and when it's 120 in the valley, it's 65 up there with ocean breeze, and you're just like, yeah, this is a good place to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, we're
Yeah,
looking. I think we're staying right there at Jot's Resort,
yeah,
so we'll be right there. And I
you
think
bet.
you just drive across and pick us up at their dock, right?
That's how I do it. You just
Yep.
walk down on the dock, and you grab some coffee, grab your breakfast. I pick you up on the dock, and out we go.
And we go
Sounds great.
about 300 yards and start
Yeah.
fishing.
Yeah.
So that's how it works. Sometimes they fit. Well,
Yeah.
sometimes they catch them right out in front of Jots. Yeah.
Exactly.
Uh,
So,
Me and David are kind of new at fishing, so it'd be kind
well,
of
Yeah,
interesting.
a little bit, just a
yeah,
little bit.
it's a-okay. If you can let it out 30 feet, if you can use a line counter, we'll be all right.
Okay.
Don't worry.
What's line counter? What's that?
Yeah, 30, 40, 50. You'll get it. Don't worry. You'll get it.
Now a bunch of this is again this so there's quite a few new people, and this segment with Kevin is called Real Talk with Kevin Brock, and this is what we do.
At 7 o'clock.
At 7 o'clock. See, you got it, you got it.
That flow is
But
really
it's
nice, guys.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
flow is really
yeah,
nice.
we were poets and didn't even know it. But this is what we do. This is the real part of it. It's not all about fishing. It's not about bragging. It's about sharing stories. It's about getting information out and helping each other catch more fish and have a blast doing it. So definitely, again, I don't think we've said it enough on this podcast, but thank you, right? Thank you for
Yeah,
checking in.
it's just a big thank you. That's
Yep,
all it is. I mean,
yep.
I've been guiding, I've been making a living guiding now for 33 years.
Oh my gosh.
So, I mean, 33 years. So thank you. The things I've seen, the places I've been, the people I've met, the fish I've caught. I'm 50 years old, going on 51 this month, and that'll be the 33rd year. And so hopefully, I saw one guide that was still Coast Guard licensed at 82, and he's the oldest that I know of. So if I can go another 32 years, what will that be? 65 years. That's what I'm shooting for. So
Wow. Let's go. Let's go.
yeah,
Yeah.
but the reality is, I'm just glad I got another day, and if we get tomorrow, I'll be grateful.
Yeah.
So
And for you guys, again, I'm gonna so you understand that statement better than you would ever believe is go watch last week's podcast on Old Farts Fishing on YouTube, and that'll all make sense to you. Kevin opened up, shared a lot of information, but it was also very motivational for a lot of people. I had a lot of people call me, say, "Hey, man, that was a cool podcast because it wasn't just about fishing; it was getting to know who Kevin is." A little bit about me, but mainly what this gentleman's been through, and we're just glad
Yeah.
to have him here and sharing all his knowledge and just being a great guy. I mean, it's just been it's just been fun. So thank you.
yep, thank you, everybody.
Yep.
Yeah,
So
it's humbling for sure. Yeah.
I'm gonna cut us short just
All
because
right.
again I know and it's funny, I'm going to cut it short, and there's somebody logging on right now. I'm going to admit them and say, "Was thanks for joining, but we're ended now." So here we go. Let me see. I'm going to wait here. Hold on, it's coming. There it
That's
is.
all
So
right.
we are winding this up now. We've been going since 7 o'clock, and we're done. So Kevin, next week we may be fishing, we may be cooking, we don't know, but we are going to be doing something, and we will tell you about it next Thursday at 7 o'clock when we have something to talk about. You'll get another fishing report from Kevin. He always check in with this. And my hard thing is I got to take this podcast, get all the edits out, and get it out tomorrow because I don't want to release this a week from now. And everybody's all, wait a minute, that fishing report's a week old. No, it'll be on YouTube tomorrow. So if you missed it or you want to share it with your friends, share the information and get it all out there. Let people know about the podcast and about Kevin. Call him for a trip, book a trip with him. If you're looking for catfish, you can call me. I can get you out on some catfish maybe, but we'll see.
And there's all
Anyway.
kinds of stuff on the online store.
Oh
And
yeah.
feel free to text me at any time. If I'm netting fish or running the motor, I might not be able to text right back, but I'll shoot it back to you. Hey, this is where I'm at. This is what I'm doing. This is what I saw today. I'll give you at least an idea of where to start.
And what number is
530-570-8057.
Perfect. And fishkevinbrock.com will be right there on the link too. You go there, buy all your cool stuff from him. Rods, swim baits, jerk baits, you name
Yeah.
it. There's
Oh,
just a
and
lot.
don't forget to support the local tackle stores. If you're in Chico area, I mean, they've been selling like what 30 or 40,000 minnows so far this
Oh,
year.
yeah.
It's just insane. If you're in Chico area, go to Tackle Box. If you're in Yuba City, go over to
Huh?
Johnson's. They carry our stuff. They're awesome over there. If you're over in Willows area, cutting through Ace Hardware, some of the other guys have some of our stuff. All the way up and down. We got a bunch of kokanee stuff up in Red Bluff, at Reynolds up there. So the local tackle shops are carrying our stuff. Swing in there, support them, say hi, and then
Yep.
just again, yeah.
Yep. And
That's
if
that.
your local tackle box is not carrying his stuff and you're like, hey, I want them to carry it, talk to the manager, find out, give him Kevin's website, fishkevinbrock.com, and say, hey, they've got wholesale pricing. They set up stuff with new tackle shops all the time. And, that's how you're going to contribute. And I know that when I'm going out, I'm working on, Kevin, I'm working on it, a little brochure thing that just has some information that I can print them out and we just hand them out when we go fishing. We go to a new tackle shop somewhere else and we look around and there's no Kevin Brock stuff. I want to hand them this thing saying, here's how you get a hold of this guy. Here's how you scan this QR code, go right to his website, place his stuff, figure it all out, and carry his stuff because I want to come here and
Yeah,
buy it.
we got, and I'm not going to commercialize this,
No,
but we got awesome margins for you guys. You just click on there, and then it drops down, and you just put in your store and your information, and then it gives you a wholesale price. And we shoot out deliveries, and we got like up north now. We picked up like 18 new stores in the last couple of weeks. It's just blowing up. It's crazy, crazy good. So we don't want to make this a commercial
nope,
because we don't want to grow. But the stuff is available for stores if they want to buy it at a wholesale price with great margins and great
right.
delivery and in stock. Yeah.
Exactly. And this is
Yeah.
just putting it out there, but at the same token, it's not a commercial, but we still got to get paid. So
Yeah.
got to make
Yeah.
some money to make all this happen.
Yeah.
Anyway, thanks for watching. We will talk to you guys next week. Go out this weekend, catch some big fish, share those pictures. If you used Kevin's product, whether it was a rod, a lure, whatever, share that picture on his page. Tag Fish Kevin Brock on there, and just spread the word that this is stuff works, and just show your story. I'll be doing that too. Kevin, thank you very much. And nope, perfect. There it is, saying it's
See,
time to
there they
go to
are.
bed.
I put in the cell phone. Here it comes. Text the number. Text and don't call me. I can't talk to you. Text the number while I'm working.
Perfect. All right, guys. Good night, Kevin. I
All
will
right.
talk
Good
to you
night.
later.
Thank you all. God bless and thank you. Just
Perfect.
thank you.